Is the artificial intelligence bot ChatGPT coming for your job? Joining me today to talk about this is Alyosha Burkhardt of the German Research Center for Artificial Intelligence. I'm Christy Bladson, bringing you another DW Business Special. Alyosha, thanks so much for being here. I'll tell you, we did ask ChatGPT to write an introduction for you, but unfortunately it couldn't find enough data on you just yet, but it also did not know who I was. So we can both hope that this special boosts our profiles a little bit. I mean, you're an AI expert. Have you played around with this smart chatbot yet?
Yeah, of course I played around with it and also looked at social media, what other people tried out. And I must say it's absolutely amazing, even to me. If you had asked me 5 years ago if that would be possible with AI today, I would have probably said no way.
Okay, interesting. I want to come back to that point in a second, but just some quick context for anyone who's not familiar. Microsoft is said to be in talks to invest $10 billion in OpenAI. That is the creator of ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT is an advanced language model developed by OpenAI that can generate human-like text. It's been trained on massive data sets to understand and respond to a wide range of topics. It's been used for chatbots, language translation, text summarization, and it has the potential to change the way we interact with machines and process text data. Let's chat about all the cool things ChatGPT can do and its potential impacts on different industries. Now, if you couldn't tell, that introduction was written by ChatGPT itself. We tested it out on the show earlier this week as well. First, we asked it to pitch an idea for a sitcom set in 80s West Berlin, and it came up with the characters and an outline of story all by itself. Then we asked it to write a scene with a few jokes. They were not the best jokes I've ever heard, but I've also heard worse. And we told ChatGPT to draw up a halal meal plan for the week. Those were pretty good ideas. And finally, coding. We asked it to write a simple to-do app in Python, and not only did it write the code, but we tested it out and it actually worked. So Alyosha, back to you. What I'm seeing in this bot is scriptwriter, nutritionist, programmer, all in one. There's a lot more it can do as well. We've been talking about AI coming for the majority of human jobs for years. Tell me, what jobs has AI already replaced?
I mean, first of all, we have been dealing with AI in many different contexts all the time, but we didn't talk about, or we didn't even notice, like all the kinds of navigation systems that we are using, search, translation tools, and all kinds of small helpers that we've seen, but they haven't been so noticeable as AI. And now, I mean, ChatGPT, of course, has the potential to change a lot, but you always have to ask yourself, I would say the other way around, what kind of jobs do we want to hand over to the machines? If you see that, for example, doctors or nurses, that they spend 40 to 60% of their working hours for documentation, then, I mean, this we want to direct to the machines so that they have more times with the patients. You see, if we only use it for rationalization, that they then later on, I mean, care twice as many patients, I mean, then we haven't won a lot.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point. I was just talking with a colleague about how we immediately talk about AI replacing jobs, but at the same time, we're dealing with a major worker shortage, for example, in nursing, like you said, in a lot of other sectors as well. So talking about the potential for this software, what about this Microsoft deal? What do you think, as an AI expert, a company like Microsoft could aim to do with this kind of tech?
I think at this point we are still in the B2C setting, right? And they are probably expecting that the kind of web search will change or be changed to these big language models, or even the chat functionality, that we won't have the search we've seen in the past, but maybe a chatbot will answer our question, will direct us to web pages, will maybe ask back, do you mean it this way or that way? And this means, of course, also the advertising market on the web will change a lot, and I guess that's what they are after. But at the same time, you have to see there is also the whole big B2B business. And we have many, for example, in Germany, Europe, many small and medium enterprises that might want to use these technologies for doing their paperwork, or for talking to their customers, or for doing certain analyses of their data, and so on and so forth. And there, I think we have to talk about, I mean, we don't know yet. There are many much more open questions, I would say, than in the applications that you've shown that are quite straightforward, where maybe also mistakes don't matter that much.
What do you think about claims that this technology could potentially challenge Google?
it's really potentially a challenge for Google, I would say, as I said, for the search market, right? I mean, that it's more comfortable if you get the answer right away, or if you get an explanation and then the thing asks back, did you mean it this way or that way, right? It could help us finding the right content, other than, I mean, like we do today, where we go through all the web pages and browse through them ourselves and try to find the right content that we are looking for. I mean, this could really change. And also the recommendations we see in online marketing, right? They might also change. They become more natural and more outspoken. Yeah, you don't only get the product, but you might get this short text. Why do we recommend this product to you? Or did we get you right that you are looking also for something else, or did we get you wrong? And then you have much more interactivity, I would say, also in online shopping.
Right, right. So then we can really see why Microsoft would consider investing such a large sum of money in this technology. Well, we spoke with one tech CEO, Yesha Sivan of innovation platform i8 Ventures, about this technology. He had mixed feelings. Let's take a listen.
I am not sleeping for the last month, literally not sleeping, and I'm a great lover of sleep. And it is because what we see now is the culmination of 10 years of extensive work, actually a global work, that OpenAI has been able to utilize to bring in something that is a demonstration of something that is a wonderful and frightening revolution.
Now, Alyosha, in your opinion, what is wonderful and what is frightening about this technology?
I mean, what is wonderful, I would say, it's a kind of democratization light. Yeah, I mean, many people now can play around with this technology, can get experience, can learn how to use it, how not to use it, yeah, where are limitations, and this is really good. I mean, yeah, in terms of making people aware of the technology and helping them getting into contact, play with it, and learn about it. Of course, there are many questions that need to be discussed. If we talk about the usage in business context, what do we do with our confidential data? What do we do with all kinds of information that's not in the system, like names of medicaments or like spare part numbers and all kinds of information that you're using in business context that this model has not yet been trained on? How do we get all this information in? Also, how do we do quality management? How do we make sure that what gets out does not do harm to people, does not lead them in wrong direction, give them wrong advices and so on? I mean, this is one thing, but at this point, to be honest, my biggest horror is that all this artificial information, texts, also images, music, and other kind of AI results, that they are polluting the web. You see, the web we've seen so far has been curated by humans. All texts that you see are written by humans, of course, also by bad and anti-democratic and so on humans, but by humans, right? And all photos have been taken in the real world, and sooner or later, with the web can double or triple or get much, much bigger, fed by text that no longer contain proven facts and photographs or images that have been made up by machines. And then, of course, the next generation of machines will probably be trained on these texts. And you understand what's going on then.
Yeah, that leads me to another question I had. I noticed that you actually tweeted about ChatGPT a few days ago, and you compared it to a sort of nonsensical answer that your young daughter had given to some questions. I mean, is this why you made that comparison? Are you saying that some of the answers that this bot is giving us are not going to be accurate or are going to be nonsensical?
Yeah, in parts, it's hallucinating, right? We've seen these examples. It made up citations of scientific papers that don't exist because they just fit it at this place, right? So it made it up. But this can be changed, I guess. That's not the problem. But the comparison to the small child is, for me, more a kind of feeling that these systems, that they are, sometimes you have the impression that they are like a small child because they are. Sometimes the systems are over explicit. They are explaining things about the world that you know already, and that a human speaker would never mention twice or thrice within a few sentences in different ways. And this, of course, because these systems don't have empathy for the listener. They don't know what the other person knows already, right? So they are telling you some things that are quite obvious. And this is maybe a little bit more the comparison. But I also like my daughter was being asked by some person what her baby doll in the small doll trolley, what's her name, and she said, "A small child cannot walk."
Right. Well, that's a little bit ominous, but yeah. Anyway, I mean, I wanted to ask you what the worst thing about ChatGPT is. I mean, do you feel like you answered that already, or would you add anything to that?
I would say that this pollution of the web with things that we cannot filter out easily afterwards. I mean, that's probably a big problem. And other people, of course, have noticed that these systems that they might reproduce biases, prejudices, racism, and other things that are in this world and that are in the texts and in the dialogues that you find on the web. And so it's mirroring to us deficits of the world we are living in.
Okay, that's a really interesting answer because I also asked ChatGPT the same question. I asked it, what's the worst thing about you? And its answer I want to read now. It said one potential issue with ChatGPT is that it's been trained on a data set of text from the internet. This means it may repeat biases or misinformation that is learned from that data. Like any language model, it is a machine and may not always understand the nuances of human communication of the context in which a statement is made. I mean, that's basically what you're saying, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But this gives me the opportunity to mention one thing. You have to distinguish between the underlying GPT-3 language model that can do a lot more and this ChatGPT component that has been put, so to speak, on top of it, if you wish. And this chat component is quite searching for harmony, and it tries to be unobtrusive, right? And if you ask it nasty question, then it will answer. Some people put it this way, some people put it another way. Oh, I'm just a chatbot. I cannot explain these things. I'm not creative. And you see, some of these answers have been scripted. Yeah, so obviously, because I mean, in the past we've seen that some AI systems have given quite blunt answers to nasty questions, and so I think people were much more cautious this time, and so it has been trained to be modest and to be kind of realistic about its limitations and its potential and so on. But you can see, I mean, I guess these are the scripted parts, so these are not the part in air quotes that the systems feels by heart, but the engineers, I think they have built it that way so that it gives these answers so that people are not afraid. So I wouldn't take these answers too serious, to be honest.
So you're saying that's sort of a marketing answer. It's not really an objective robot telling us the objective truth.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, and this, at the same time, sorry, but at the same time, it makes you feel that the robot knows more about itself than it does, right? So it could also be misleading. So we get the impression, oh, well, there is a very nice, well-behaved, politically modest, trained person sitting next to me, which is, of course, not the case. It's a machine.
Now,